Locked within a secure vault at Yale University lies a medieval codex that has relentlessly defied every attempt at understanding for over a century. This book is a true enigma, composed of roughly 240 vellum pages filled with a flowing, elegant script that belongs to no known language. It is famously known as the Voynich Manuscript, the world's most mysterious book, a puzzle that has humbled the most brilliant minds in history. Its pages are adorned with colorful, bizarre illustrations of impossible plants, strange astrological charts, and surreal scenes of women bathing in green fluids. The core mystery is both simple to state and impossible to solve. Is this a lost language, a complex cipher, an elaborate ancient hoax, or something else entirely? For over 600 years since its creation in the early 15th century, the manuscript has perfectly guarded its secrets, making it a true intellectual black hole. To fully grasp the scale of its mystery, we must first take a journey through its baffling sections, each one a deeper dive into the unknown. The manuscript is generally categorized into 6 distinct parts, and each one presents a new layer of profound confusion to modern researchers and scientists. The first and by far the largest section is known as the herbal section, containing over 100 detailed drawings of strange and unidentifiable plants. These are not the typical flora you would find in any botanical textbook, as many of them appear to be fantastic composite creations from a dream. They combine the roots of one plant, the leaves of another, and the flowers of a third, creating species that have never existed anywhere on Earth. Some botanists have spent their careers trying to identify them, occasionally finding faint resemblances, but never a definitive match for any single plant. Following the impossible botany, the manuscript transitions into its astronomical section, which is filled with complex circular diagrams and celestial charts. It includes many pages of intricate zodiac symbols and drawings of the sun and moon, often depicted with human faces and arranged in cryptic patterns. These charts seem to follow some kind of internal logic, but it is a logic that does not correspond to any known system of medieval European or Eastern astronomy. This section makes you question if the author was documenting a real sky from a forgotten time, or illustrating a complex, metaphorical cosmology of their own invention. From the stars, we descend into the most famous and deeply unsettling part of the book, the balneological or biological section. These pages are filled with dozens of detailed drawings of small, naked women, most with swollen abdomens, bathing together in pools of strange green liquid. These bathing scenes are interconnected by an incredibly complex and surreal network of pipes, tubes, and organic-looking vessels that seem to channel the mysterious fluids. This imagery is profoundly bizarre and has no known parallel in any other historical manuscript, leaving its intended meaning completely open to wild speculation. Is this a forgotten text on women's health and hydrotherapy, a secret alchemical guide to creating the elixir of life, or a symbolic map of the human soul? After these strange scenes, the cosmological section presents even more abstract circular diagrams, some of which fold out into enormous multi-page charts. These pages depict what some researchers have interpreted as maps of unknown islands, strange castles, and pathways all connected in a cryptic design. The rosettes, as they are often called, are beautiful and intricate, but like the rest of the book, their true purpose and meaning remain entirely elusive to us. Next, we encounter the pharmaceutical section, which is filled with over 100 drawings of various plant parts like roots, leaves, and seeds, shown next to apothecary jars. Along the margins of these pages, there are numerous labels written in the same unreadable script, suggesting these could be recipes for medical potions. This section appears to be the most practical part of the entire book, yet without the ability to decipher the text, the supposed cures remain forever locked away. The final section of the Voynich manuscript is composed entirely of dense, continuous blocks of unreadable text, with no illustrations to guide us. The only visual markers on these last pages are small, star-like flowers drawn in the margins, possibly to delineate different paragraphs or entries. This section is sometimes referred to as the recipes section, but in reality, its content is just as unknown as all the others. A final wall of indecipherable text. The modern history of this strange book begins in 1912 with a Polish-American rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich, who gave the manuscript its name. He claimed to have discovered the codex in a dusty chest of books being sold by the Villa Mondragon, a Jesuit college just outside of Rome, Italy. Voynich became completely obsessed with the manuscript and dedicated the rest of his life to solving its mystery, convinced it held incredible secrets. He initially believed it was the lost work of the famous 13th century English philosopher and scientist, Roger Bacon, a man fascinated by codes. Careful historical research has since traced its ownership, or provenience, back to the court of the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolf II in Prague in the late 16th century. Emperor Rudolf was famously obsessed with alchemy, astrology, and all things occult, and he reportedly purchased the manuscript for a massive sum of 600 gold ducats from the emperor's court. It passed through the hands of various alchemists and scholars over the next century, each one failing to decipher its contents. After being owned by a scholar named Johannes Marcus Marci, the book completely disappeared from the historical record for over 200 years until Voynich found it. When Wilfred Voynich reintroduced the manuscript to the world, he sent copies to the best cryptographers and codebreakers he could find, starting a new chapter in its history of failure. The most famous attempt at decryption came from William Friedman, a legendary American cryptographer, who led the team that broke Japan's Purple Code during World War II. Friedman and his wife Elizabeth, who was also a brilliant and accomplished codebreaker, spent the better part of 3 decades wrestling with the Voynich Manuscript. They applied every cryptographic technique they knew, the same techniques that had won wars, but the manuscript resisted every single one of their attempts. Friedman ultimately concluded that the text could not be a simple substitution cipher, as it displayed statistical properties that were far too complex and nuanced for such a method. He believed it had to be a constructed language, a philosophical language designed from scratch, but he could never prove it, and the mystery endured. In the 21st century, modern researchers have unleashed the immense power of artificial intelligence and machine learning on the manuscript's text. They hoped that powerful computers, capable of analyzing vast amounts of data, could see hidden patterns that human eyes had missed over the decades. While these AI analyzers have confirmed some fascinating statistical properties of the text, they too have failed to produce a single, conclusive, and readable translation. The fact that the Voynich manuscript has resisted the world's best human minds and our most powerful computers is a powerful testament to its profound and unique complexity. So if we cannot read it, what could it possibly be? Which brings us to the grand theories that attempt to explain what this incredible book really is. The first and most scientifically respected theory is that the script represents a real, but now lost, natural language that was written in a unique, invented alphabet. The text's internal structure, its word frequencies, and its entropy are all statistically consistent with genuine human languages, which lends very strong support to this theory. If this theory is correct, then the author was likely a speaker of a language that had no written form, so they had to invent an alphabet to record their people's knowledge. But without a Rosetta Stone, which is a parallel text with a known language, it may be impossible for us to ever recover the meaning of these strange words. The second major theory is that the text is an incredibly complex cipher, a secret message that was encrypted to hide its contents from prying eyes. Perhaps it contains forbidden alchemical formulas, secret herbal remedies, or political secrets that were simply too dangerous to write down in plain text. However, most attempts to apply known cryptographic methods, from simple substitution ciphers to complex polyalphabetic ones, have completely failed to reveal any hidden message. The text's unique statistical features do not seem to match any known pre-modern encryption system, so if it is a code, it is one of a kind. A third, and very popular, theory is that the entire manuscript is nothing more than an elaborate and masterful hoax, created with the sole purpose of fooling a wealthy buyer. Perhaps a clever and artistic con artist in the 15th century fabricated the entire book, filling it with convincing-looking gibberish and bizarre drawings to sell to a nobleman. This theory was very compelling for a long time, but it was seriously challenged in 2009 when the manuscript's vellum pages were carbon dated by a team of scientists. The results from the carbon dating proved conclusively that the book's pages were made sometime between the years 1404 and 1438. While this doesn't disprove the hoax theory entirely, as it could be an old book filled with new nonsense, it confirms the book as a genuine 15th century artifact. Another, more unusual theory, suggests that the text is an example of glossolalia, which is the phenomenon of speaking in tongues, written down on paper. This idea proposes that the author was a religious mystic, who wrote down fluid, structured sounds and syllables that only felt meaningful to them. This would explain why the text has language-like statistics and a natural flow. But it would also mean that the book itself is completely devoid of any real, coherent content. Finally, there are the fringe theories that capture the imagination. the most exciting of which suggests that the book is actually of extraterrestrial origin. This theory proposes that it is a guide to alien botany and biology, perhaps a relic left behind from another world long ago. While there is absolutely no evidence to support this fascinating idea, the truly alien nature of the book's illustrations makes it an enduring speculation. So, what is the Voynich Manuscript? A lost language, an unbreakable code, a clever hoax, a mystical text, or something far, far stranger? The simple and frustrating truth is that after centuries of intense scrutiny by the world's best minds, we are no closer to an answer than we were 100 years ago. The book remains a perfect enigma, an intellectual puzzle box that consumes every theory thrown at it, leaving only more and more questions in its wake. It is a powerful and concrete example of how our own human past can be just as mysterious and unknown as the farthest reaches of the cosmos. Perhaps the true value of the Voynich Manuscript is not in the hidden secrets it may or may not contain, but in the profound sense of wonder and curiosity it inspires in all of us. It is a beautiful and humbling reminder that even in our modern, data-driven world, filled with knowledge and technology, there are still some mysteries we cannot solve. It forces us to confront the absolute limits of our own knowledge, and to accept that some doors in history may remain locked to us forever. In the end, the book is like a mirror, reflecting our own very human need to find meaning and recognizable patterns in a universe that is often chaotic and strange. What is your own personal theory on the true nature of the Voynich Manuscript? Do you believe it is a hoax, a code, a real language, or something else entirely? Share what you believe in the comments section below, and let's continue the never-ending quest to solve the world's most fascinating unsolved mysteries.